Hi, I'm Meg.
Hey, and I'm Dan.
Hi, welcome back.
And we just finished playing Remothered.
Mm-hmm.
Just now.
Yes, well,
This is
no,
the same day when
it's
we
not.
finished playing it.
So we wanted to just do a separate video that explained the story of Remothered Tormented Fathers, and we'd give a little bit of a review about it, tell you what we thought, go over the story, how it all ties together, the weird twists and turns and little pieces of lore that we found throughout it, and then lastly we'll go over whether or not we would recommend it to somebody. There are spoilers ahead, so if you haven't played the game and you intend to, maybe just skip ahead to the review in the chapters below.
Remothered is a story-driven horror game, and the whole goal of the game is to hide, distract, and injure what they call stalkers, which are people that constantly search for you while you're going through the house looking for the clues that reveal the whole story. So in general, the whole point of the game is for you to find out what happened to Celeste, which is his daughter. Mr. Felton's daughter. So the game also has puzzle elements where you go find objects in order to progress the game further. So, for example, there's a point where you need to find a plunger to unclog a drain in order to get to a key, but to get to the key, you have to lift up a hatch in the floor, but to get the hatch up in the floor, you had to go knock down a chandelier to get a wire from the chandelier to attach to the hatch to put up the dumbwaiter in order to remove the hatch so you can go back and get...
Okay, so the plot of Remothered Tormented Fathers, it takes place as a flashback to 1992. And the main character, Rosemary, Stanky Leg Reed, as we call her in the industry, she goes to the Felton's house and she's pretending that she's going to interview him about his mysterious illness. She's posing as a doctor that's from the medical institute where he used to receive treatment. Rosemary mentions that his daughter ran away from home and something about how his business partner was a suspect in her disappearance, and she starts kind of badgering him, implying that he had something to do with her disappearance, even though it seemed to be a pretty clear cut she ran away. Rosemary brings up this name Jennifer, thinking that this Jennifer is related to Celeste's disappearance, and that actually ends up escalating the argument with Mr. Felton. Not only that, but Gloria comes back and reveals that Rosemary is not actually a doctor, and she is there under false pretenses, and so Rosemary immediately gets kicked out of the house. So later that night, Rosemary sneaks back into the house. She thinks that by sneaking in, she can find evidence that will link Mr. Felton to the disappearance of Celeste and incriminate him. She finds Mr. Felton's wife, Ariana, dead and decomposed in their bed. And she also ends up looking around for more clues, trying to just basically incriminate this man. Not only that, but when she tries to leave after she finds Felton's wife dead, because at that point she's like, oh shit, this is weird, I want to leave. She goes back to the front door, finds out that it is gated, locked, all the windows are barred, she cannot get out. And Mr. Felton is just wandering around the house, buck-ass naked, nothing but an apron to cover his loins. You can see his butt a lot. And he's got a sickle, and he's a little murdery, and he chases her around when he sees her. He's also trying to find his sleeping pills. He never finds them.
We have a theory that they're M&Ms. Partway through the game, Reed finds a hypnosis session that was filmed with Felton, and it says that his daughter came home, but due to his hallucinations, Felton didn't recognize her. He thought it was actually Jennifer, and he ends up mixing up Jennifer and Celeste a whole bunch, and he gets very agitated, and he hangs us up on a wall as well.
Yes, by a dog catcher thing.
Which we had a lot of trouble figuring out what it was. And so at this point, a nun in red appears, and she just starts attacking both Reed and Dr. Felton, and she becomes a new stalker character. While Reed is running away, she sees a young girl sneak up into the attic, and she gets attacked by her and knocked unconscious. And when she comes to, the girl apologizes to her, and she identifies herself as Jennifer. and tells her about a secret room that Mr. Felton hid away behind a fireplace. And it turns out that room is actually Celeste's bedroom. Reed discovers that after Celeste returned home, she was locked in the villa by Felton and put into these forced mesmerization sessions that started to affect her memory, and she wanted to leave before completely losing all of her memory.
Rosemary heals Reed, discovers Felton's birth certificate while she's trying to escape Celeste's bedroom. On the birth certificate, it lists his name as Jennifer Richardine Felton, implying that Felton was actually born a female but was raised as a boy and given testosterone treatments by her cruel and, as he put it, monstrous father. This caused Mr. Felton to have split personality disorder, Richard being one distinct personality and Jennifer being the other. She runs back into Gloria, and Gloria pretends to kind of play along, and she sounds kind of sympathetic to Rosemary, but then she drugs her and reveals that Gloria was the Red Nun all along. And through a bunch of weird hallucinations and trying to get away, Rosemary does end up captured for like the 4th time. While she's captured, Gloria reveals the fact that she was experimenting on Felton out of revenge for something that's revealed a little bit later. And Gloria is actually the one that manipulated Mr. Felton into murdering Ariana and capturing Celeste and doing all this weird stuff that he was doing the whole time.
During this point in the game, Felton's ordered to kill Reed and himself in a fire. But Reed escapes and has one last confrontation with Gloria up in the attic, and she ends up finding her way out the same way Celeste escaped from her imprisonment. Gloria is tricked into falling out of a window, and then Reed goes down and lies in the grass next to her. Which is weird. And then during this whole point, it's revealed that Gloria, Felton, Reed, and some nuns at the Cristo Morente Covenant were subject to experiments by Wyman to perfect phenoxyl, which is an antipsychotropic drug. It's meant to treat PTSD. And it was synthesized from a rare species of parasitic moths, but it was later banned for its side effects, which include photosensitivity, hallucinations, ulcers, and homicidal raid, and also moths breed inside of you.
That explains a lot, doesn't it?
Which does explain a lot. So Gloria, in addition to being a nun at the Covenant, was also the daughter of one of the creators of phenoxyl, which is why she was trying to get revenge on Mr. Felton in the first place. And it also turns out that Reed was originally one of the nuns experimented on at Cristo Morente, and she was the one that set fire to the entire project, but also is missing some of her memories from that whole period of time. So Gloria ends up forgiving Reed, telling her to keep searching for Celeste, and then she dies. And at this point, Reed returns to Celeste's room, and using a piano key that Gloria gave to her in her last moments, finds a luggage tag that points her to an all-girls boarding school, which implies that there is a sequel, which there is.
There is.
There is a sequel.
There is a sequel, and it's also a prequel.
Slash prequel, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Meg, you were the one that played it, so you're the one that gets to give the opinion on it. What would you rate it?
I'd give it a B. It was a really good game. I really liked it. There were, I think, some issues with the translation. It was hard to read the letters, which I think affected understanding of what was going on in the letters. There was some issues with the sound design, I think. It was really hard to tell where the stalkers were at a lot of points, which, when the game is so heavily reliant on knowing where the stalkers are, I think that was a little bit of an issue.
Can I add on to, I don't know if we were smart enough to play the game.
We were pretty stupid.
we had to go and look up the whole plot after the fact to put all the pieces back together.
Knowing the plot made the game so much more enjoyable. Like, it made us go back and be like, wow, that's what that meant? Like, that's really cool. But I do think that the story was really good. I do think it was fun. I did think about the game when I wasn't playing it and like wondered what was going to happen next.
And so I would say it's definitely worth a replay.
Definitely worth getting. I would recommend it.
I think it would be better playing it again now that we know the story and looking for those subtle like clues. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a thumbs up from you. That's recommended.
Yes, I would recommend it if you like horror games.
Yes, the only hard part was the last attic sequence was not the most enjoyable because it was a little bit
Might just be because we're too dumb.
We might be too dumb for it, but there was a difficulty curve that was very hard to compensate for. But it was good when we beat it. So that was our review of Remothered Tormented Fathers. We'll probably end up doing this for all the games as we beat them, just to give our final thoughts. Any loose story ends that we didn't figure out until afterwards, we'll go through those like this, and we'll talk about whether or not we recommend them. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. And we'll also rate them on the tier list in relation to Remothered Tormented Fathers. So we'll build up this big encyclopedia of our game tier ranking, essentially. But with that being said, we really appreciate you watching the video. Make sure you take some time, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It really helps us out. And
if you've played the game, let us know what you thought about it in the comments. Let us know if you agree with us. If you haven't played it, then go give it a shot.
It's definitely worth it. And also in the comments below, make sure you tell us, what is the first job that is not currently taken over by robots that will be taken over by robots? If there was like a sequential progression, like assembly line robots, okay? So what's after that? Fast food robots. That's already been done. What's after fast food robots?
We could do a different video about this.
Yeah, no, but you have to put it in the comments. What's after fast food robots? Leave that in the comments below.
Music. Artists.
That's already a thing. Shoot. After artist
Everything.
robots.
Everything can be done by robots.
What's the next thing that isn't taken over by robots currently that will be taken over? God, this is the longest title card. But that's the question. We really appreciate you guys. We'll see you later.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.